Fragments of us. In the bustling city of Meridian, Mia worked as a forensic psychologist, delving into the minds of criminals to uncover truths buried deep. Her life was meticulous, her routines precise, until she met Caleb, a brilliant yet deeply troubled artist whose work resonated with raw emotion. Caleb came to Mia for help, claiming he couldn't distinguish reality from his nightmares. His art depicted vivid scenes of violence and despair, each painting more disturbing than the last. As Mia tried to untangle his psyche, she found herself drawn to his vulnerability and brilliance. Their sessions turned into late-night conversations, their professional boundaries blurring. Caleb's past began to unfold. A traumatic childhood, a lost love, and a mysterious incident that left him questioning his own sanity. Mia's logical world clashed with the chaos of Caleb's mind, yet she couldn't walk away. When a series of murders mirrored Caleb's paintings, Mia was thrust into a web of suspicion and fear. Was Caleb the victim of a sinister plot, or was he the very monster he feared? Each clue pulled her deeper into his world, a locked room filled with unfinished paintings, a hidden diary chronicling his descent into madness, and a name whispered like a curse. As the line between truth and illusion blurred, Mia began to question her own reality. Her dreams became plagued with the same dark imagery that haunted Caleb. A woman crying blood, a house on fire, a shadowed figure watching from afar. The closer she got to uncovering the truth, the more the darkness seemed to seep into her own life. When the final confrontation came, Mia faced a choice: betray Caleb to save herself or risk everything for the man she was beginning to love. The truth, when it emerged, was more horrifying than she ever imagined, forcing her to confront her deepest fears. Could love survive in a world where trust was shattered, or would it crumble under the weight of their shared pain? In the aftermath of the revelations, Mia began to dig into Caleb's past on her own. She visited the places he painted: the decaying warehouse on the edge of town, the lonely forest clearing, and the burned ruins of a house that seemed etched in his memory. Each location felt charged with an unsettling energy, as if Caleb's nightmares had bled into the real world. The deeper she investigated, the more she found herself under scrutiny. Her colleagues questioned her judgment, her friends grew distant, and even the police began to see her as an accomplice. The strain mounted as Mia started to see glimpses of the shadowed figure from her dreams and her waking hours. It wasn't just Caleb's mind unraveling anymore. Hers was teetering on the edge. One night, while going through Caleb's hidden diary again, Mia discovered a series of cryptic sketches, symbols that matched the scenes of the murders. She brought them to an old professor, an expert in psychological symbolism, who revealed they were fragments of an ancient ritual meant to unlock suppressed memories. Caleb's art wasn't just random, it was his subconscious trying to reveal a buried truth. Convinced that Caleb's mind held the key to solving the murders, Mia urged him to undergo hypnotherapy. During the session, Caleb spoke in a voice that wasn't his own, recounting the night of the mysterious incident that fractured his sanity. A name surfaced: Daniel Kane, a former friend and rival artist who had vanished years ago. The tension in the room was palpable as Caleb suddenly screamed, "He's still here!" before collapsing into silence. As Mia pieced the clues together, she discovered a hidden gallery in Caleb's studio, sealed behind layers of plaster and dust. Inside, she found a series of paintings, unlike anything Caleb had shown her before. They depicted the murders in horrifying detail: dates, locations, and victims, all painted long before the crimes took place. Caleb, standing behind her, broke down, insisting he didn't remember creating them. Mia realized Caleb was being manipulated, but by whom or what? The name Daniel Kane became her focus, leading her to an abandoned art commune where Kane and Caleb once worked. The commune's leader, an enigmatic figure known as the Architect, was obsessed with unlocking the subconscious through pain and fear. It was here that Caleb's memories had been fractured, and it was here Mia found the final, damning piece of evidence: a recording of Kane confessing to the murders and framing Caleb through subliminal triggers. In a harrowing confrontation at the commune, Caleb faced Kane in a battle of wills, their shared past erupting into chaos. Kane admitted he envied Caleb's talent and sought to destroy him through the only means he knew: twisting his mind. As Caleb wrestled with his inner demons, Mia intervened, using the symbols she had deciphered to break Cain's psychological hold. The commune burned that night, much like the house in Caleb's paintings. In the flames, Cain disappeared, leaving Mia and Caleb to face the aftermath. Caleb was exonerated, but his soul bore the scars of the ordeal. In the weeks that followed, Mia and Caleb tried to rebuild their lives. Their bond, forged in the crucible of shared trauma, remained strong but fragile. Caleb returned to painting, his work no longer haunted by nightmares, but by the bittersweet hope of healing. As for Mia, she resumed her work, carrying with her the knowledge that the mind could be as much a prison as it was a sanctuary. Though the shadows of their past lingered, they found solace in the fragments of themselves they had salvaged together, determined to create something whole from the pieces. As Caleb's paintings began to shift from haunting depictions of despair to tender explorations of hope, Mia noticed subtle changes in him. His once guarded demeanor softened, and for the first time, he allowed himself to smile. Yet the shadows of the past still clung to them both, lurking in the corners of their minds. Mia struggled to reconcile the woman she had been before Caleb with the person she was becoming. A woman who had learned to embrace uncertainty and chaos. One day, Caleb revealed a new painting to Mia. It was a portrait of her, but not as she saw herself. In the painting, she stood surrounded by light, her expression fierce and determined. It was a version of her that Caleb saw, someone who had saved him when he couldn't save himself. The vulnerability in his eyes as he presented it stirred something deep within her, and she realized that despite everything they had endured, they had found a fragile kind of peace in each other. But peace was not without its trials. As Caleb prepared for his first gallery showing since the ordeal, whispers of his connection to the murders resurfaced in the media. Critics questioned his sanity, calling his art a chilling glimpse into a fractured mind. Mia stood by him, becoming his anchor as the world tried to pull him back into darkness. Together, they confronted the storm, leaning on the trust they had painstakingly built. The night of the gallery opening was both a triumph and a test. Caleb's work was met with awe, his transformation evident in every brushstroke. Yet among the crowd, Mia noticed a familiar figure watching from the shadows. For a fleeting moment, she thought it was Daniel Cain, but when she turned, the figure was gone. It left her with an uneasy feeling, a reminder that the scars of the past might never fully fade. In the months that followed, Mia and Caleb's lives began to stabilize. They moved into a new apartment overlooking the city, a space filled with light, plants, and the quiet hum of creativity. While Caleb painted, Mia worked on a book about their experience, hoping to shed light on the complexities of trauma and healing. They knew their journey wasn't over, but they had learned to face their fears together, their love a testament to the strength that could emerge from even the darkest places. And though the shadows still whispered at times, they no longer held power over them. For Mia and Caleb, life was no longer about escaping the darkness, but about learning to live with its echoes, finding beauty in the fragments of who they had been and who they were becoming.